Andrew Romero is looking at federal gun charges in the death of a Rio Rancho police officer, Greg Benner.
As the case gets more attention, New Mexico's federal prosecutors are ramping up efforts to lock up more career criminals. News 13's Chris McKee spoke to the feds today. Chris?
Dean and Jessica, the U.S. Attorney's Office says it's expanding its worst of the worst program in a way to help ID repeat offenders and get them off the streets faster.
There are certain individuals that pose such a danger to the community.
These guys are career criminals in New Mexico. Convicted killer Chris Blattner, Christopher Cook, who's accused of shooting an APD officer, and Andrew Romero, accused of killing Rio Rancho police officer Greg Benner. They're criminals that prosecutors in New Mexico's federal U.S. Attorney's Office want kept off the streets.
It's important to us to identify who creates that substantial danger to the community.
For the last 4 years, the feds have been prosecuting a long list of New Mexico's repeat offenders under the worst of the worst program, which gives career criminals tougher federal sentences.
If you can get a mandatory minimum, let's say, for example, 15 years, that means that that individual will be out of the community.
An example is Chris Blattner. He's now doing 30 years on federal gun and drug charges. But many have raised concerns about how Officer Benner's accused killer, Andrew Romero, was out on the streets with such a long record. Now, the U.S. Attorney's Office says it's expanding the reach of its worst of the worst program.
We're trying to make it better.
The U.S. Attorney's Office will hire a liaison soon who will work specifically with New Mexico police and prosecutors to find repeat criminals like Romero faster.
But we're going to have more of an idea of what cases are out there.
Federal officials with the FBI and ATF believe having that dedicated person to ID repeat criminals will make a big difference.
It's usually the same individuals are committing these crimes.
It's not going to get better unless we do it coordinated in a strategic way, and we do it together.
Now, in addition to that new liaison in the U.S. Attorney's Office, they're also working on training several new assistant district attorneys throughout the state who will work directly with the feds part-time. Dean, back to you.
All right, Chris, thank you. Andrew Romero is one of about 18 repeat criminals this year who are facing federal charges under the worst of the worst program.
Someone